Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for over 250 subs already. That means that this little Skoda Fabia is going to be going to the Nürburgring in a couple of months time. I do need to get it obviously MOT'd and roadworthy first, but that is not a problem. I will make that happen. So the plan for today is getting the car ready for its MOT. I know definitely it needs a new catalytic converter because I've been told by the previous owner that the one that's in there is no good, doesn't work anymore. I imagine it's from all the anti-lag that he's been doing, pop and bang, whatever, probably just ruined it. I have a new one back there somewhere under all the junk. I have started to get the old one out already, so let me show you what I've done. Okay, I'm going to start off by apologising if I can't use much of the footage. It's very rainy and very windy today. It doesn't stop me from working, but it does mean that any footage might not be the best. But let's go with it anyway and see how far we get. Okay, so I have started off by removing this heat shield. That was held in by 2 bolts there and then 3 bolts on that little bracket. I also loosened off and removed the 2 bolts that were there, which I think are for the turbo oil feed or maybe coolant feed, just so I could kind of get that loose, just to allow me to get that bracket removed. I've also removed the bolt from the V-band here, so that's now off and loose. I've given the top of the downpipe a little bit of persuasion with a hammer just to get that loose so I can remove it. I have also undone the plug for the lambda sensor. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a 21mm spanner with me today. That's not a problem, I can still probably get that out. I've also got the car jacked up on axle stands, I've got wheels under it, and you know what it's time for? It's time for a little wobble check. Yep, that is not going anywhere. Please make sure you're doing that, making sure the car is safe before you get under it, because you don't want a car falling on you. That is not going to be fun. Okay, so I'm just under the car at the minute, and I've got those 2 rusty looking bolts there and there that I need to remove, and then I've got 2 rubber hangers there, and then I've also got that clamp further down onto the slip joint. It looks like maybe that where you can see that bit of welding here potentially, it looks like the catalytic converter may have been here previously, and that's why they just chopped it out and put in this bit of pipe. But hopefully they haven't just made this pipe really long to make the rest of the exhaust fit, otherwise I'm going to be in a fucking nightmare. Right, well that didn't go to plan and that just snapped right off. Hopefully I get lucky with the other one. But actually at this point it doesn't matter. If they both snap off, it just means I need a new clamp, which is absolutely fine. They are cheap. I can probably go get one today. Okay, so I'm back again working on the Skoda. It's a couple days later, still raining because it always fucking rains. There I've got the old cat and the new cat. You can see the only difference of why I'm changing it is that. So that is like the second part of the cat that was annoyingly cut out. So I've got to change the entire thing just so I can get it through an MOT. As always, Skoda's jacked up on axle stands. I've got wheels underneath it. I've left the jack under there as well. That's got no weight on it. That's just purely for safety. So I'll give it routine little wobble check. Yeah, it's good. It's not going anywhere. Safety. Right, so if anyone for some reason needs to change the catalytic converter / downpipe on their 2016 Skoda Fabia 1.2 TSI, don't, unless you're in a ramp, because this is really fucking annoying. But basically you've got a little bracket there that goes onto the downpipe, so there's 2 bolts onto there. Then you've got 2 captive bolts just stuck onto the bracket with the 2 holes on the downpipe there, so that just slots on there. You've got a V-band at the top. You need to try and fit the entire thing through that little gap there, which is loads of fun. And then it just has a slip joint at the end with 2 little rubber hangers to go onto there. Okay, so I've come across a small issue here. Yeah, that doesn't really fit anymore. So basically what I've realized is that when they cut out the cat, or the second cat from there, they didn't actually match up the length of that pipe. They just kind of guessed and then made the cat back fit with it. So what that means is actually the stock cat is slightly too long, or more accurately, that is too long. So annoyingly for the moment that isn't going to fit right. It's not an issue, I just need to chop off a little bit of the end of the cat back and then it should all be good. Other issue is I haven't been able to remove the lambda sensors from this the old downpipe because I don't have a 21mm spanner with me, which is annoying but not the end of the world. They're still accessible. You've got one there and then another one just underneath at the back of the downpipe, which I'll put in next time. I was just taking the car off the axle stand and I have a little friend in my tyre. That's fucking annoying. That means I'm gonna have to get that changed before the MOT. I mean, the tyre's not great anyway, but it's got enough tread on it to get through, but it's obviously not gonna pass with a fucking nail in it. Hey guys, I'm back in today working on project Skabia. It's about a week later. I've been back here since and I've got the exhaust fitted and fixed, which is good. I just cut it down a bit and that fits great now. I've got a bit of an issue. The car doesn't start. When you put the ignition on, you can hear the fuel pump priming, it turns over. And after you've been turning over for a little bit, you can kind of smell a bit of fuel out the exhaust. So I think the fuel side of it is good. I just don't think it's getting any spark. So I've checked the fuses, they all seem good. I have brought my multimeter with me today, so I can actually check them properly, because although they look all right, they could have a small fault with them. But yeah, I think the problem is hopefully going to be this little box here. Basically, that is the box for the anti-lag, and normally inside the car, it's got a little switch, and that little switch normally when you turn it on has a blue light on it, a blue LED, and that's not coming on anymore, so I'm hoping that is faulty. What that means though is I need to not only remove it, but I need to figure out all the wiring with it, because you can't simply unplug it. Basically this wiring has been spliced into the coils, so what I need to do is remove all the kind of covering around that wiring here, so I can see what's going on with it, and then I can kind of cut it and hopefully figure it out. Let's do it. Okay, so I have started working on the car to try and figure out how the fuck to remove that shitty box for the anti-lag. So I've started off by removing the crossover pipe that went from the turbo to the throttle body here. That just gave me a little bit more room so I could work. I've then disconnected the plugs from the coil packs. There's also an earth there and another connector on there. So I've removed all of that, and that basically has allowed me to free up the loom. It's then taken a little while to remove all of this shitty electrical tape from the loom, just so I can see what's going on. And actually it looks pretty simple. What they have done is just kind of cut the wire in the middle there. I think that's the signal wire for the coil. And they've basically just spliced it into this little loom that goes to the box for the anti-lag, or the pop and bang, whatever you want to call it. So what I'm thinking and hoping is that if I get rid of that shitty wire, reconnect the wires back together like they should be, that I can then remove that box hopefully, and also that hopefully should get the car running again, fingers crossed, because otherwise I'm not sure why it's not working. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm kind of, where I've shown you where they've spliced the wires together, I'm just going to cut that off and temporarily connect it with a Wago. Obviously this is not a long-term solution, but kind of by connecting a Wago, it's going to allow me to test my theory, make sure that it works before I permanently join the wires together. Because if I've done that wrong, it's going to be loads of effort to then kind of undo whoever I've permanently joined the wires together. So yeah, just a little quick test. This is going to be absolutely fine. You know, work, and drop everything on the fucking floor like an idiot. Great. And it landed perfectly upside down as well, so that like every single one is out of the box. Fucking brilliant. Fuck yes. Oh, that is a relief. Okay guys, so obviously very relieved that the car is running again and working like it should be. I have now fully removed the anti-lag, or whatever you want to call it, box, which was there. Removed all the wiring. I haven't yet obviously sorted out this wiring here. I don't have the tools with me to do this properly, nor do I have any sort of electrical tape or heat shield to go over it afterwards, so that's fine. I'm going to leave that for now. I have also just reconnected this terminal onto the battery properly. That is for the air ride, so that's fine, that's good. I've got the top lambda sensor in. I need to put the lower one in now. I haven't done that, or I didn't do that when I put the new downpipe in, because I was waiting on this socket that I borrowed from a friend. So lambda sensor socket, really useful, so much easier than trying to get a 22mm spanner on there, because I also don't have a 22mm spanner. So yeah, the car is jacked up on axle stands. Yeah, safe. So yeah, I'm going to get under the car now and do that. I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed. Obviously we had that sub goal of 250 subs, and then I was going to take the car to the Nürburgring. We've smashed that already, so thank you. The current plan is that this car will be going to the Nürburgring probably the end of February, beginning of March. Obviously there's a lot that needs to happen between now and then. The car needs a big clean-up. It needs a proper inspection. I need a bit of time to go over it and clean it all up and make sure it's going to actually be safe and that it's going to make it. I also do want to do a few small things, so I want to clean up the boot build, try and hide some of that kind of underneath the boot floor, because otherwise I've got no boot to put anything. There's going to be 4 of us in this car going all the way to Germany, so we're going to need some storage space. So as we've been able to hit that sub goal so quickly, which I do really appreciate, the next thing I want to do is actually get the car painted, or paint it myself, because right now it doesn't look great. It's about 4 or 5 different colours. There is blue, black, red, there is grey, and actually there's a few bits like a different shade of blue, which is, I don't know where that's come from. But I obviously want to let you guys kind of have a say about what happens with this car. So once I hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to let the top comment on a video choose the colour that this car goes. I do have some ideas of what colour I think the car should go. My favourite would be to do it as a kind of Polo Harlequin inspired build. So I haven't seen that done on any Mark III Fabias before, so I think that'd be really cool. I've always loved kind of the older Volkswagen stuff, and I do think kind of actually with this basically being a Polo underneath, it would make a lot of sense and it'd be really different. I mean, we could also do it a kind of more of a normal colour, so we could do like a Nardo grey. We could do something quite cool, do like a kind of coffee brown colour, which I know sounds weird, but I think with this car slammed on the ground, it would look pretty cool. But that's going to be up for you guys to decide. So once we hit 1,000 subs, I'm going to post a video, and the top liked comment on that video is going to get to choose the colour of the car. So if you want to see this car get painted, please subscribe, please send it to friends or anyone, just so we can try and hit that, because the sooner we hit that, the sooner I can paint this car and stop it looking like this. But it's going to be up to you guys, so whatever you think the car should be painted, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.